Okay, this time on the channel we're going to make an easy homebrew wine from supermarket fruit juice. Hello, now this is my first homebrew making for about guts of 3 years, so I'm going to treat this as showing a tutorial for a total beginner of how easy it is to make a lovely batch of homebrew wine with supermarket juice. Let's go and do it. Now I have got a pot here ready and I'm going to pour one of these containers of grape juice into there, and I'm going to melt some sugar in it. So let's put it on the in the pot there, and we'll heat it through. And going on my past batches with this, I found like 1.5 bags of sugar gives about a 10-11% wine at the end up. So let's add a bag of wine into the yeast at the moment. Into the yeast. Let's add a bag of sugar into the pot and we'll give it a mix. Now, I used to buy a lot of red grape juice from supermarkets. As I said, it's been a couple of years since I've done this, and I find it very difficult to find any grape juice at all. This was the only stuff I could find, and it's purple grape, so it's going to be a very, very dark purpley red wine at the end of it, but I couldn't find normal. So in the sanitised solution, here is my paddle. I'll just give that a mix. This is only 1 bag of sugar in there at the moment. That's only 1 bag of sugar in there at the moment. We'll heat it through. I actually bought 10 litres, but one of the litres packets is damaged. It's a wee bit wet on the outside it, so I'm not going to use that. Fear of contamination. Now what I have been doing with my recent batches of wine when I made them is, even with cider, as you'll see further down the channel here, the video is further down the channel, you will see that I add a number of these fruit tea bags. And what they do is, they don't have a sugar content or anything, but the flavour that comes out of the tea bags at the end of fermentation, in my experience, saves you adding sugar to the dry wine again. I don't like adding sugar or sweetening, but with the tea bag flavour in it, it gives the illusion that it's sweeter, but it's pure dry. It's fermented to dryness, but it tastes excellent, so you don't need to. And I've done that with sugar. I find the Mangrove Jack's O2 sugar for making cider from apple juice is the same. You don't need to back sweeten it. So we're just gently heating this a wee bit just to melt the sugar enough. I'm not going to boil it or anything, although technically you probably should boil the sugar off, but then I'm putting cold juice into the fermenter anyway, so I've never had a problem thus far. I've never had a problem in all the years I've done it, so you can feel that wee load of sugar's just about done. I'm going to add the other half a bag, and then we'll infuse the tea bags. Let's see if I can set that there without any sticky disasters occurring. Let's open the other bag here. So it's a very cheap and easy wine to make, and I'll tell you, it's a very beautiful wine. We'll keep on this video to the end and we'll have it fermented, and we'll be sampling this wine in a week or so. Let me see a wee bit more. A wee bit more. That's about a wee touch more. That should be a bag and a half. There's no scales or anything in this house. There's nothing too exact like that. So just going by experience. If it's your first time doing it, I would maybe measure out. Take notes as well. Take notes of all your brews, and then you can refer back to your records. A wee spreadsheet or so I've done on a Word document. Could have been doing with just a slightly bigger pot here. But okay, we're alright. If I'm careful enough, we'll be alright. Mrs. Hoppy won't know anything about it. If we spill 1 grain of sugar like there, she'll find out the sticky bit and use this paddle right over my head. So, a couple more minutes, this is ready to go into the fermenting vessel. And this is about the most laborious task of the batch here. And it just, if you melt the sugar now, it saves the sugar time in the vessel, because it's got in room temperature. It just gives the yeast a quicker boost, and I consider that. I'm not feeling any grinding or anything like that, so I would consider another wee minute and it'll be the sugar all melted. Then we can pour it into our vessel. So I had a few videos about this over the years on the channel, and looking back on them all now, the sound is absolutely terrible in a lot of them, so I'm going to remake them all with an up-to-date version, because wee bits of style has changed over the years as well. I think my fruit wine with tea bags, fruit wine with concentrate juice or something, I don't think I did tea bag. I don't think I done it with the tea bags back then, so as I said, it really leaves a beautiful flavour at the end up, and it saves you putting more sugar in it. Right, so let's go over to the, let's take that off of there. Let's pour the sugary liquid into the fermenter. Make sure that the tap's shut obviously as well, it'll be all over the floor. Still a wee bit of sugar on the bottom there. Let's just give that a wee final mix. Let's give that a wee final mix there. Okay, that's the final sugar melted. Let's put it in there, looking good. Give it a wee stir. Put that in the sink at the road. Now what I'm going to do is count out 10 tea bags. 10 tea bags. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. I'm going to put them in my muslin bag, which is in the sanitised solution. And then I'm just going to put them in here, let them steep in there for about 10 minutes, and I'll be back soon. So, next stage, get my knife out of the sanitised solution. We're going to pour in now the rest of the grape juice. Now I find if you make a hole in the bottom of it, it flows much easier. And we'll put the other of the 8 in there. See how easier that flows now. Give that a good shake. Still got the tea bags in here. Still got the bag of tea bags in here. Because when you put it in at the start there, just to get some of the hot liquid around it to get them infused, there was a lot of sugar sticks to the bag, so I'll squeeze out the rest of them once all the level's in here. And it should be a fairly quick fermentation. 7-8 days. That gives a take. I'll get rid of them tubs later in a bag. So, have you made wine with this grape juice before? I think I have a long time ago, but I cannot remember the result. If I remember right, I don't think it was just nice as the normal grape juice, but I could be wrong. I could be wrong. Right, so we've got 9 litres now in our fermenter, so what I'm going to do next is just finish off squeezing the rest of my tea bags out. And it gets the rest of that thick sugar that was at the bottom out of them. And the temperature on that's 22, that's pretty good, that's excellent. Because we're going to pitch a yeast next. And that will be that. We'll draw a wee sample. First of all, they got a gravity. Let's wet my hand in the sanitised solution before I touch this bag. There we go. Anything that touches your brew, anything at all, has to be sanitised. It has to be sanitised if it's going to touch your brew. No exception. I'm still getting some good stuff out of that yet. So, there we go. Let's get a wee rinse at my mitts. Right, so we are ready to take a gravity. Okay, that's looking good. I'll just need to change my glasses here to my readers, so as I can see what the reading is. And so it was 22 degrees, so you should technically take this at 20 degrees is an accurate one. So we are showing Okay, the gravity reading now is showing 1.08246891090. Let me just double check that. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1.090. Because that was sanitised, I'll put it back in there. Now, that's going to be roughly, does it say in this one? No. I'll put in there what that's going to be anyway. It's going to be 11-12% anyway. All we've got to do now is put the yeast in. And the yeast I'm using, super wine yeast compound. Whatever happened to Big CQ? Big CQ on YouTube is always a guy, super wine yeast compound, la 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 la. I don't think he's got an account anymore on YouTube. Guy, I think it was for Dundee or something. Big CQ, if you're out there, CQ, hello to you. I used to like watching your videos. And we are just a heaped teaspoonful of yeast here. We are just a heaped teaspoonful of yeast, like so. Stir it in. And basically, folks, that's it for the brew. That is it for the brew. Just some on my paddle there, just get it all off. Although the yeast does multiply. There we go. Just show you. And now what we do is now take the lid out of the solution. Done. Now this fermenter here, you don't need an airlock. What it does is it just blows that up and it seals it tight. Because when it's fermenting anyway, this is not the best focusing camera, because when it's fermenting anyway it produces a layer 4 or 5 inches there of CO2, so nothing can penetrate in there bug wise anyway, and it just peeps open to gas itself, and that's it. As long as you don't remove this unnecessarily, you'll still have a protective layer of CO2 in there. Job done. It's literally as easy as that. As long as you keep your things sanitised and clean, we shouldn't have a problem. We'll revisit this when the fermentation is done. We'll use finings to clear it, and then we'll bottle it, and then we'll taste it. So stand by for all that. Thanks for watching this so far. We'll get you soon. Okay, now it's time to taste this stuff. Not really tasted a great deal of it, just a wee sample when I was bottling it, and it was still very yeasty and bitter and stuff, so that's the finished product there. So looks a nice colour. I'll give you another look at that when we're on the other camera. So it's been about 3 weeks since the last video. In that time, fermentation stopped. We'll just recap on the gravities. The original gravity was 1.090. The final gravity was 0.996, which gives it 12.3% ABV. We used 10 very berry tea bags in this batch. I've since started another batch with 20 very berry tea bags in it to see the difference in flavour at the end. And I asked AI to make a name for me of the brew, give it the details: homebrew, berry tea bags, fruit juice, and it came up with moonberry grape. And you've obviously seen the thumbnail at the moment. it goes through all my other AI dealings and questions and statements and stuff, and it put a wee crystal nut in there too for me, so there we go. Enough twaffle, let's get this opened. Now, you're saying to yourself, this character's got it in a plastic bottle. Yes, I have. I used to bottle and cork and heat shrink and make label. No, I don't do that anymore. I was too keen back in the day and I'm burnt out. This is quick and easy home brewing here for the beginner. This is what this video is all about. So quick and easy home brewing for me as well. So there we have it. Let's put the lid back on this. I've had it in the fridge for a couple of hours, so it should be quite cool. There we go. That's very clear indeed. So once the fermentation was over, I did add finings to the batch, and it's a solution you put in, mix it in a wee bit, and it gathers all this suspended yeast and sinks it right to the bottom below your tap. So as when you bottle it, your bottle's near enough crystal clear straight away. You don't need to rack it from rack till it clears. The fining process just grabs all the yeast, sinks it out the road, and we've got that. So I can smell it. It smells really fruity. Let's put on the other camera here and I'll give you a wee close up from this side of the light. See, there we go. It's pretty good, eh? It's pretty good indeed. Be close up on this. So it is a nice colour. I was expecting it to be a bit darker than that actually. I was expecting it to be like purple grape it says, but it's obviously... Right, let's get a nose at this. Now the main sensory part of it I'm getting there is alcohol. Then it's just a country wine, isn't it? So it's a nice fruit under it. Maybe it's just because it's just opened. It might mellow out a wee bit and get the alcohol off it. But it's a nice, mild, berry, fruit aroma. A distinct wee niff of, it's home brew. And that's because of the yeast I take it. When I was making my ciders, it took me a while to get the right cider that doesn't leave that evil, bitter home brew taste when the fermentation's done and you had to add sugar to it. So it took me a while to get Mangrove Jacks and test that, and I've stuck with that for my cider now. This is just a generic super wine yeast compound, so I'm on the road now to find an actual wine that retains a bit of sweetness. And the fruit tea bag's in here as well. This is no sugared seagull on the roof there. This doesn't get sugar added to it or nothing, it's dry. So let's see if the tea bags retain the illusion of sweet. Here we go. It tastes very fruity. And by no means at all is it bitter. If anything, I would say it could probably have done with the new batch of the 20 tea bags, because it's maybe just a wee bit bodiless. But it's a nice aftertaste, sweet, nice on the lips, wet, watery mouth. You know what, that's brilliant. That is absolutely brilliant. And that's my first batch of wine I've made in nearly 3 years. And it's quite, for being 12.3%, it seems a lot stronger than that. Getting a nice aroma, a nice light fruit aroma there. Like raspberries, berries. Just red fruit. Oh, there's a wee burn happening. What more can you ask? And I should have kept the receipt. Each one of them, I can get the berry juice cheaper, the grape juice, sorry, cheaper. And I will. They were £1.80 a litre for them. That's too dear. You can get it much cheaper than that. So there was 9 of them, a kilo and a half of sugar, a bag and a half of sugar, so that's probably another £1.50 for that, and 10 tea bags. And it's nearly 2, so it's about 50p worth of tea bags. So out of the 9 bottles, they're probably £1.20, £1.30 per litre. At the end up it's cost me. And can't ask any better than that, can you? Let's get another wee taste before I say goodbye. It's such a clean and light taste. The experience of it isn't like your commercial wine, you know, their vinegary red wine. These are a nice light country wine. Mouth watering here. It looks just clear as day, nice and inviting, and it smells delicious. So, for all yous home brewing curious out there, oh, it's too complicated for me, I'll never be able to do that. You've seen this video. You've got everything there in this video for you to go and make a batch of this yourself and try it. And if you do, please let me know how you got on, because it'll get you hooked on the hobby. Get you hooked on the hobby. And I've noticed that the red grape juice is very hard to come by, as I stated earlier in the video. So what I'm going to do next for a batch of wine is I'm going to make cranberry wine. And you'll see a video coming of cranberry cider, which is 50-50 apple juice, cranberry juice. Because there's such a shortage locally of grape juice, I'm going to make cranberry wine with just cranberry juice. It'll be very light, right enough. It'll be very, very pink. But the fruit tea bags in it will darken it up, give it a retaining sweetness there, and we'll see how that goes on. So, hope you enjoyed this video. If you do make this, please let me know how you got on. If you've made anything like this before, put down in the comments what it was. And until then, good few videos coming up. The Hoppy Hippie's back in town. We'll see you soon. Cheers.